Urban Edge are a team of around 30. So we've got three directors, Russ, Tom, and Julie. It's been a really fun thing to work on. I've really enjoyed putting it together, and it's not only is it an easy system to work with, it's been great working with you, Jane, and Roger, who is not with us today, but and Sunny as well, who's done a lot of kind of back end tinkering. And no, it's been brilliant. It's been fantastic working with you guys. So I'm really grateful, and the team. I'd say the whole team are really grateful as well. They all get a lot out of it. So it's been fantastic. Thank you. People being sort of all over the place, really, in their houses, working in cafes, on site. This platform was just a really good way to kind of help them stay connected. And also make them more kind of effective and efficient if they can find the information that they're looking for with the click of a button, rather than it taking 10-15 minutes to try and pry some information out of the server. And then happy days, it's 10-15 minutes saved each time they want to try and find something. So that was basically our primary goal, really, was just to try and make everyone happier, make their lives easier, and make them more efficient as well. So that's what we did. Hopefully, we've had various bits of feedback. So we launched a couple of months ago, and sort of within the first week, I'd had various emails from members of staff saying, "Oh wow, I didn't even know half of this information existed, let alone where to find it." So once we branded it, we decided, okay, right, what sort of elements do we want on there? We wanted to include basically front and center all the kind of latest happenings around the practice, because we thought this is probably the thing that the team are going to be most interested in. Really, they're going to want to know what's going on. They're going to want to know about the Christmas party details that are coming soon. We've got various other things on here. So one of the guys, Thomas at Urban Edge, of all things, he owns a traction engine, which is probably not a lot of people do, but he's very proud of this traction engine. It's 100 years old. So he took a few of them out for a ride in it a few weeks ago. So we thought, okay, we had some videos, so we'll post that on there. That'll be good. And you can click on any of these. A couple of these we did quite recently. So we're doing some pumpkin carving on Halloween. And essentially all of our posts just follow the same sort of format. We create a nice piece of artwork. We write some text, because we have to do all the copywriting as well. So yeah, we've got posts or the latest news front and center, particular things that we want to draw attention to. We put the ticker in at the top. So there's a few of the posts we've kind of highlighted up here, and again, you can click on those and it takes you through. This one takes you through to breast cancer now's wear it pink thing that we did probably a couple of weeks ago. I didn't get the memo, so I ended up wearing a pink post-it note on my hoodie. But hey. I still put a fiver in the pot, so that's what counts. We all donated and raised a few quid for those guys. Down the left-hand side, you've got your welcome, our upcoming events calendar, and some of the content in here mirrors the content in the latest news. So, for example, you've got the post on pumpkin carving over here. It's also in the calendar as well. Same piece of artwork, same wording, but it's just to try and draw people's attention to what's happening. Really, we just want to get people as involved as possible. Reminders about our timesheets, because despite Dot and I being graphics, we still have to fill in timesheets, which is pretty dry, to be honest with you. But you'll notice mine are absolutely up to date. No flies on me. We have a reading list as well, so we can point. I'll try and find an example. So Darren, who is one of the associate directors, did a presentation on changes to the folder structure in the practice. So basically, I don't know if I have got his PowerPoint. So he produced this PowerPoint, which we thought was pretty important to the team. They need to be filing their documents properly. So I've read it, but what we can do is we can tick a box and put this post and subsequently his PowerPoint presentation in everyone's reading list, and basically just encourage them to engage with that, read it, take it on board, and action the points that he made in his PowerPoint. And then lastly, at the bottom of the page, we just kind of wanted to show anybody new to the business or anybody who doesn't really get involved with the architectural side too much, what people are building. So this is just a little place where we can show off kind of the big projects that we've got on site at the moment. So there's a whacking great big retirement community in Sonning Common, very posh one for inspired villages. I think apartments are sort of £750,000 each. It's very, very exclusive. So we're building that at the moment, and these photos get updated periodically, probably once a month when the guys go down to site, just so people can see the progression, and anybody who's not from an architectural background, how these projects kind of come together, really. I'll just quickly run you through the pages at the top. So Project Gallery, basically these are, for want of a better word, they're 20 curated projects. So these are probably 20 of our, I want to say, sort of finest pieces of work. They're not necessarily all the finest pieces of work, but it's just a real good mix of the type of things that we work on. So we worked with Roger to create a layout. So if you click on one of these, we want to create a layout where, first and foremost, we use this as kind of the first port of call for anyone who's new to the business. Other than looking at the website, they can look on here and find and kind of get a real grasp of the type of things that we do. So we work quite hard with Roger on producing these pages, producing the layout for these pages, where we include, we've got like a nice, in this case, completed project photo, project overview. You can use these links. So if you wanted to interrogate the planning documents, you can do that, and it opens a link directly on the server. Particularly in something like architecture, there's so much information, so much to take on board, that we just kind of use the edge really to soften that kind of introduction, really, and just try and get people settled in a little bit more quickly. So yeah, we've got the people as well, probably the most important part. So this is the team. We have professional photography, which all of these are done by our photographer Rachel. So she produces photos for the website, so we've just reused those on here. And each, where's me? There I am. I look a lot tidier here than I do today. I'm a right mess. But yeah, we've produced these pages where bios are lifted from the website, contact details, photos, bit on my education apparently. And then we've got a skills matrix in there as well, which is something Tom wanted to introduce so that we can, if I go back a level, basically if Tom wanted, as an example, to find all of his Revit power users, you can simply now pick Revit from the left-hand side, and then 3 stars. Obviously, these are the people with the highest level of skill. You can find your, in our case, 3 Revit power users within a few clicks. So that gives you a useful way to find where the different skills are in the business, and it's also useful. You can see where the gaps are in people's skills as well. So it's a useful tool for potentially upskilling people as well, where they might have gaps in their knowledge. Just we've touched on introducing new people to the business, but we actually created a human resources page as well. These following few pages that we created have kind of got nice bits of artwork at the top, and everything's divided into columns. So we've got a section on employee assistance. So Sally, our finance person, I can't think of her official title, we'll just call her a finance person. She's got her own page in here. she basically got fed up of being asked, how do I claim expenses? So we've put the procedure in for claiming expenses and hiring cars and booking travel and accommodation on her page. So there's a page on finance. We have an employee assistance program. So if you're struggling with any mental health issues or financial problems or anything like that, we have a platform that staff can use confidentially, to discuss those with somebody, with a professional. So we've got a link to that website and a link to Mindspace, which is a local mental health charity that we've worked with in the past as well, and obviously Step Change as well, which is a big one. If you've got financial problems and you want to talk to somebody, we've included a link for that, and then a section on booking leave and returning to work following sickness. There's a section on our company benefits and our pension information. And again, we created, no, sorry, where are we? We created little icons at the side. So the little world, if you're clicking on something with a little world icon next to it, it's a link. If you're clicking something with a page in a paperclip, it's a form. And if you're clicking on something with a folder, it takes you through to a location on the server or to a folder structure. Knowledge is kind of the main bulk of why we built the site, really. So this is your one-stop shop for all of the information that you might need to lay your hands on if you're an architect or if you're involved working with architectural projects. Urban Edge are ISO 2001 accredited and 14001 accredited. So on each of these pages, you'll find, we'll go into 9001. On each of these pages, you'll find all of the key documentation that comes along with being ISO 9001 accredited. And these two accreditations are super important because some of our clients won't work with practices that don't have those accreditations. So it's critical for us to basically maintain those. Every 12 months we are reassessed and audited essentially, and if we're not performing, we'll lose those two accreditations. So though the information contained within those two pages, sorry, is critical, really. And every member of staff needs to be au fait with those processes just to make sure that we remain in compliance. All of our workflow documentation is in here. So there's procedures for filing, document naming, and how we issue information as well, and various other things. And they're all accessed with basically 2 clicks of a button. We have templates on here and marketing information for Urban Edge. So if anybody wants to send out an industrial portfolio, they can click on the button and find that rather than having to get up and come and ask Dot and I where it is. And then the really important stuff, so the construction details and support for CAD and working in Revit, booking travel, if your laptop's broken or you've spilt a glass of water on it, then how to get it mended. And then this is a real bugbear for us. We get asked by loads of people, can you just merge this PDF for me, or can you change this PDF into a Word document? We got so fed up with being asked those questions that we thought, do you know what? We'll put these links on here. At least if anybody asks us now, we can point them back to the Edge and say, if you want to merge a PDF, then there's a link on the Edge site. Do it there, basically. Quite a few things as an office. So we do a kind of monthly Mario Kart championship, and a few of them upstairs are just crazy about F1. So there's an F1 fantasy league, and I think we're starting an indoor golf tournament. Not sure what that is. Not sure how it's going to work, but there'll probably be a leaderboard for the indoor golf tournament going in here as well. So lots of fun stuff on the social page. It's probably one of our most, I think more people check the social page than they do the blooming support page, which actually has all the kind of bulk of the information on it. But we're quite a sociable bunch, so it probably explains why. As an architect, you need to have a certain amount of hours of CPD every year. So what we do now is, rather than her maintaining a very kind of time-consuming spreadsheet, we, in our events calendar, if we put a CPD in there, we can basically tell it how many CPD points it's worth, and then as long as we include the attendees on that CPD and we've marked them as attended, you can look in the back end and we can generate a report that basically says, okay, these are all the people that have attended CPDs. This is how many hours that they've accrued. And it just allows us to manage kind of who's done what, and if there are any members of staff who might need to do a little bit more, basically. So that's been really useful. I thought that was definitely worth a mention, because it saved Katie a job, basically. It saved her having to spend time maintaining her spreadsheet. So I just showed her, look, we can do that on the edge for you. Liz is working on the tracker at the moment, which is something that we'll look to implement onto certain member of staff's landing pages, basically. And it just will allow them to track the various legal documents for projects as they flip-flop between solicitors and clients and us. And I mean, I had a conversation with her before I came down here, just to kind of understand what that is. But apparently these legal documents can bounce around for months on end whilst they're reviewed and amended and then ultimately signed. And Tracker just allows for each project, Lids and a few of the others, to kind of see where those legal documents are, and okay, do we need to do anything? Do we need to chase the solicitor? Do we need to poke the client and see if they've done what they need to do? It just makes that whole process of managing those kind of legal documents, those appointment documents, a lot easier, really, because as you can imagine, there's lots of different projects. They're all we have a lot of projects that are at that stage where we're not yet appointed, and okay, in order to get appointed, we need to make sure these documents are complete, and it just simplifies that whole process.